Hello and good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon,
Good afternoon,
sir.
sir.
I am Viren Dayal from Mumbai, and I have the privilege, under the auspices of the JBS Academy, to address this program today. And I'm going to talk about classification, tariff, and so on. And I hope I can make this program as interesting as possible. I personally believe many of you in this classroom today or in this session are handling import cargo and part of classification. You're doing import export of various commodities, and you're encountering problems on various issues. Okay. Am I right or no? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Uh, so we all face this problem.
Right, sir. Right, sir.
We all normally face, some kind of problem or the other when it comes to classification. It is not that only you're doing it, facing, everyone faces. What happens? See, just think about the fact that we are CHAs or custom brokers. We don't have time. That is the first thing. Cargo is always urgent, and most of us follow what the HS code or the classification is given by the supplier in the bill of lading or invoice and so on. Of course, you have your previous imports also. Not many organizations, I'm saying, not many, only one or two, very few of them have a dedicated person. His or her job will be only to do the classification and nothing else. उनका यही काम है, उनको जितना भी डॉक्यूमेंट दे दो कि भाई ये classification is right or it is wrong, you tell us. So today we are at that regime that because we don't have time and we've not really gone into the principles of classification, requires a lot of reading, requires seeing various kinds of case laws and so on. But anyway, this chapter, that is this particular topic, is a very core chapter and a very important part of mechanics of Indian customs. And classification being a very important feature in the Indian customs. Classification is based on so many parameters. Kinds of goods, what kind of exemptions you might be having. It's covered under free trade agreements. Sometimes there are concessional duties available. Then we have the ITC HSN, which we need to see from the foreign trade policy and so on. But classification still is a very important facet about Indian customs because in the scheme of customs administration का पूरा जो एक पहलू है, पूरा full all India. कोई भी any dispute for classification is always fast tracked from the Indian customs, say the adjudicating authority, then it is fast, then it goes to Sistat, and later on it bypasses the High Court to go directly to the Supreme Court. That means this, what does it mean? Okay, classification alone is not only our baby, हमको तो कर रहे हैं self assessment में classification, but the burden also on checking the classification is not only on the customs, but it can also go up to the apex court besides Sistat and accordingly the classification has its own elevated status in the Indian customs. Now, as you all know that once the duty has been determined, that means you have imported something or you want to export something, and the duty has been determined under the Customs Act. The next issue will be that how do I classify the goods? So you have an import, and then you know that there is a section known as assessment, subsection 2, section.
इधर से ले
Pardon?
ले रहा ना कि दोनों का चालू होते
So we have under the Customs Law Administration, under the Customs Act, we have section 2, and in section 2, subsection 2 talks about assessment. Also, the assessment has certain parameters. Okay. What Mr. Assessment's work is to see that whether you have done the right classification, whether the value which you have declared is the correct transaction value. Are you taking any benefits of any notification benefits from the various exemptions available under Section 25 of the Custom Act? Is there any free trade agreement? And so on. And therefore, classification is very important facet, that the government gets the right amount of duty based on the classification given by you. So as you know, after April 2011, all of us are doing self-assessment of the goods, and the importability criteria of self-assessment is now on the onus is on us, that is we importers. So what section 17 subsection 1 says, that any importer or exporter will self-assess the duty to the goods. Hence, we are the ones who are doing the assessment. And you know there are 98 chapters as far as the Indian Custom Act, Indian Custom Tariff is concerned. Therefore, what we are going to do today is to understand what are the various classification principles which govern us. What does each principle mean? And what is that? What is it that we each note we should follow a certain procedure which has been laid down. So today's topic, I am going to make an effort to help you understand the rules of classification of various goods under the Indian customs scenario. Should any of you have any question, you can always ask me, and you can interrupt me, because by the time I start my screen sharing, I will not be able to see anyone's face as such. So with this small kind of a short brief introduction, I will commence the rules of the entire structure and the feature of the Indian classification. You can read the Customs Tariff Act, right? So first, let us understand what is Customs Tariff Act, who started the Customs Tariff Act, and what are the features of the Customs Tariff Act, what is it structurally made up of. Let us first try to understand that in a bit detail. So in today's lecture, you will learn what is the Customs Tariff Act, what is the Customs Tariff Act, and the rules of interpretation of tariff. Let me give you a background note. When the Second World War got over and the United Nations was formed, various of the organizations also formed. And one of them was the World Customs Organization, WCO. And since there was a good amount of increase in trade and commerce and manufacturing activities, it was felt that there should be a proper structure of a coding system by which each country exporting or importing for each other is able to understand what that particular product is and whether the same product is what they have imported. Now, it was therefore necessary that there should be a structured manner to classify the goods, because there are numerous amount of goods, as you are aware, not just one amount, different types. And therefore, as the international trade increased, a need was felt to have a universal standard system of classification of goods to facilitate a trade flow and analysis of trade statistics. And what was actually created was known as the harmonized commodity description and coding system. This is referred to HSN or simply HS and has been developed by the WCO. Now, this is the international nomenclature standard adopted currently by about 200 member countries, which ensures uniformity in classification in international trade. So it only does, so basically what does HSN do? It is a language, a common language of international trade. And if I start speaking to you in different languages, you may not understand. But right now I'm speaking to you in English, you are being able to understand my communication to you. In the similar manner, the HS code solves the problem of various commodity, how they should be classified in the course of international trade. Therefore, HSN is nothing but a multi-purpose international product nomenclature developed by WCO. And currently it has got 5,000 commodity groups, and they are classified in a particular way and arranged in a legal and logical structure. Okay, this has been currently used by at least 200 countries. Have a look at this slide. Right. Now come
Sir,
to
can
the
you make the PowerPoint in full screen?
Oh, yes. Sorry, I could have done that. Thanks. How about now?
It is okay now.
It's okay?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, just a minute. Now let us come to the Indian context. So since WCO said that, look, I am going to make the harmonized classification. India as a member country, UK as a member country, Bangladesh, all of the member countries will have to follow the structure, that is the HS code, the way I tell you. That's what WCO said. So India being a member said, fine, whatever you say, we will follow that particular structure only to classify various goods. When you come to the Indian context, the Indian Tariff Act, naturally we are following that particular word to word, comma by comma, whatever WCO has told us. इस तरह से आपको classification करना है. And these are the various codes you have to use, and these are the various other chapters and etc. So in the scheme of the Indian customs, there are two separate tariffs in India for imports and export. The Indian Tariff Act has two separate tariff headings. One is for imports. Schedule 1 is for imports. And the second schedule is for exports. Right? As far as exports is concerned, currently there are hardly 50 entries. And they're mainly all the natural products, mineral products, and so on. And the classification is done depending on what kind of goods you are going to export. But of course, the first schedule has got many more entries. Now, since some of you are from this field, as I understand, and you are into imports and exports yourself in your own right, can you tell me, if you're filing a bill of entry, what are the different duties which you get? Give me just an example. Unmute and talk. Raise your hand, unmute. I'll allow you to. Manoj Kumar, have you unmuted? Can you tell me which are the kinds of duties you have for imports when the goods come into India? Can anyone tell me?
SWS and anti-dumping.
Okay. What else?
The basic custom duty. Basic custom duty.
Sumit Ghosh said basic custom duty. What else? And SWS, somebody said. Anita said.
The
Yeah,
first
sir.
is basic custom duty. Second one is
AIDC.
Normally, on a most of us who are filing bills of entries, what are the kinds of duties available? Most of us.
Basic SWS IGST.
So basic custom duty
IGST.
and basic custom duty, SWS and IGST. That's what is normally there in the Indian customs. Correct? Normally. So, thank you. Please mute yourself. Now, Custom Tariff Act has got two schedules. Schedule 1 is for the imports and Schedule 2 is for exports. So, Schedule 1 will have various kinds of duties, correct? Somebody, can you please mute yourself because I can hardly hear. Thank you. Now, my next question to you is, why do we pay customs duty? क्यों भरते हैं हम लोग? Tell me, we have to pay customs duty, you know that. Why? Who can answer?
This is the revenue for government.
Revenue for government. Not bad. Anita, thank you. Anyone else?
Direct tax.
Direct tax. It's not a direct tax. Can you tell me, हम लोग क्यों भरते हैं ड्यूटी? क्या जरूरत क्या है? Who
सर
told?
कोई भी
बोलिए।
चीज हम डंप कर रहे हैं, एक्स्ट्रा बाहर से ला रहे हैं तो भी ड्यूटी लगती है ना। ऑलरेडी वो इंडिया में बन रहा है तो भी हम चीप रेट से ला रहे हैं।
वो तो
India.
एंटी डंपिंग ड्यूटी की आप बात करेंगे। वी आर पेइंग एंटी डंपिंग ड्यूटी। माय क्वेश्चन टू यू ऋषभ इज, forget any, so let us talk about basic custom duty, SWS and IGST. Why do we pay it? Who told you pay?
Hi, sir.
as
This
per
is a
Customs Tariff Act Section 12, all goods are dutiable.
Who said that?
Customs Act.
Guru Prasad. That's what your answer is.
Yes.
Guru Prasad said that Section 12 says that all goods are dutiable. Okay, fine, good. Anyone else? Abdul?
Yes, sir. Actually, if we go back to the, before the, in the kingdom area, so there was a tradition of, if somebody is bringing any goods from other kingdom to the current kingdom, so there was a, it was a rule of the king that he should present something like that. It was a custom. That the reason this custom duty has come. and it is all started from olden days, and it is still continuing like that.
So basically, Abdul Qureshi, you're saying that in the Kautilya Arthashastra, the kingdom ka jo apne example diya, that is why now we are taking customs duty. I agree with you. That's a good answer.
Based on the
But
finance,
just a minute. Sridhar, one second. Sridhar, now talk. Sridhar, talk. Sridhar, tell.
yes, sir. Based on the finance ministry, customs is collecting the duty.
So finance ministry is Nirmala Sitharaman. She is telling us to collect duties. Example, Ministry of Finance. Who told Ministry of Finance to collect?
FTB.
Pardon? FTP.
WTO.
WTO.
WCO.
WCO.
Ministry of Commerce.
Ministry of Commerce.
Central Board of Indirect Taxes.
Central Board of Indirect Taxes told.
Constitution Parliament.
Who said that?
Constitution Parliament.
Constitution Parliament कौन जवाब दिया?
Rohan.
Okay, so everyone mute yourself.
Arjun job.
Please mute, please mute, please mute. Therefore, somebody is talking, but I'm unable to make out. Therefore, Custom Act, payment of duty is a sovereign function under the Indian Constitution, and in the first schedule of the Union list, the Constitution under entry number 83 has very categorically mentioned that the government will collect duties of customs at the time of import and export of goods from India. And that is why we are paying customs duty when goods are imported into India. That is why we are paying a customs duty in India. Now you are seeing the slide, the first schedule talks about import duty, second schedule talks about export duty. Now, what according to you is the import duty here in the first schedule? Sridhar, can you repeat your answer? Guru Prasad, can you repeat your answer?
Yes, sir.
What did you say about section 12, Guru Prasad?
Dutiable goods, sir.
So you have the book in front of you, Customs Act.
Oh, 1 minute, sir.
Take out section 12 and read it.
1 minute, sir. Sir, any goods, 1 minute, sir. Section 12, dutiable goods. Heading is dutiable goods.
Read the section. Read it. No
Right.
problem.
1 minute. Sir, dutiable goods, levy of and exemption from customs duties, except or otherwise provided in this act or any other law for the time being in force, duties of customs shall be levied at such rate as may be specified under the Customs Tariff Act 1975 or any other law for the time being force on the goods imported or into or exported from India. The provisions of subsection 1 shall apply in respect of the goods belonging to the government as they apply in respect of goods not belonging to the government.
Perfect. Guru Prasad, thank you. This definition of section 12, which is a charging section for levy of duty under the Indian Constitution, it says that, look, because the Indian Constitution has told me to take duties, I am going to take. But the rate of duty is going to be as per the Customs Tariff Act. Therefore, the BCD, The basic custom duty, 7.5%, 10%, is your charge, the constitutional charge, but the rates are given under the customs tariff. So your BCD is the sovereign function which the Indian government does. Ke bhai, material has come, you have to pay so and so duty. Whereas the other duties, the surcharge, etc., are under the Customs Tariff Act of 1975. So Section 12 makes it very clear. I am supposed to take duties from you. Hence, the basic custom duty will be the charge which I will take from you. Balance of the duties whichever are there will be under the Customs Tariff Act. But 7.5%, the BCD, will be under my prerogative, means under me, that is the Indian Customs. So Section 12, therefore, is known as a charging section. So this is what this particular table is going to tell us, that the two tariffs for imports and exports, the import tariff and the export tariff, currently 50 items for export tariff, are all part of the constitutional provisions. Levy of duty has got nothing to do with classification. Classification can be anything. Duty is country specific. China may have lesser duty than India. Japan may have lesser duty than India. Maybe Pakistan has got more duty than India, and so on. So we move forward.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
You tell the definition, answer of why do we pay custom duty. You said something and I can't note it.
So what is that?
Why do we pay custom duty? You told us something about that. The definition, I think.
Fine. So we became independent in 1947, right?
Yes, sir.
On 26 January 1950, we adopted the Indian Constitution. ठीक है, इतना तो आपका पता है.
Yes, sir.
So Indian Constitution is the supreme legislation of India.
Yes, sir.
Indian Constitution ने बोल दिया कि भाई मेरे list 1 में I have 3 lists: union list, state list, and concurrent list. In the union list, in the first schedule, union list, the 7th schedule, there is an entry number 83, which says that the government will levy duties of customs when goods are imported into India or exported from India. And that is why we are paying duties of customs. That is why you and I pay income tax, CBDT, Central Board of Direct Taxes. So similarly, we pay custom duties when the goods come into India. But what Section 12 says, which Mr. Guru Prasad read, is that duties of custom, because Constitution bola hai, I will take duties of customs when goods are imported to India or exported from India, but the rates will be as per the Customs Tariff Act. Rate आपको कहां से लेना है? Custom Tariff Act से. That is why whatever goods come, I will do the correct classification, and against that classification, what is the rate of duty I will pick up. So your basic custom duty, BCD, उसके बाद SWS आता है, उसके बाद आपका IGST आता है. So BCD is your duty of constitution. It's a compulsory exaction of money from you when the goods are imported into India, and it is not for services rendered. So this is the scheme. That is why we take duties of customs. I wanted to give this background to tell you why duties are taken. Duty structures, duty percentages may be different for different countries, but the Indian Constitution का जो Neha,
हाँ सर, हाँ
yeah,
सर.
just keep a watch, no? Just keep a watch. I can't keep seeing like this. So many people are. Why don't you mute everybody excepting me right now? Okay. Now, the first schedule. The first schedule, the Custom Tariff Act, which is for the import schedule, is organized logically by economic activity or component material comprising the concerned goods. Let me give you another example in this. I'll have to just go off the. I have to just go from here. I'll tell you what I'm trying to say here. Just a minute, huh? Although I have, I'm still sharing. Let's try to share something else with you as well. Now I want you to understand that how the Custom Tariff Act is actually made up of. 1 minute. So I want you all to understand, everyone, what is this? See, I've started section 1. Make a note of section 1. कहाँ से start होता है? Live animal products, section 1. There are how many chapters? There are 5 chapters. Section 2, vegetable products. All these are various vegetable products. Section 3, animal or vegetable fats, oils, and other cleavage products. Section 4 is prepared foodstuffs, beverages, spirits, vinegar. And these are various chapter headings against each chapter. Section 5 is mineral products, 25, 26%. Section 6 is products of chemical and allied industries. Chapter 28, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. Then chapter 7 we have plastics, 39, 40. Then we have section 8, raw hides, skins. 9 is wood and wooden articles, wood, charcoal, etc. 10 is pulp of wood or other fibrous cellulosic material. 11 is textile and textile products. What a big chapter. 12 is footwear, headgear, umbrellas. That is section 12. Section 13 is articles of stone, plaster, cement. 14 is natural or cultured pearls, precious, semi-precious stones. So उसमें diamond भी आ गया 71 में. On chapter 14. 15 is base metals and articles of base metals. Iron and steel, nickel, zinc, and so on. 16 is machinery appliance, where the most important chapter for many of us, chapter 84 and 85. This is what are actually finished goods in a manner of speaking, section 16 onwards. 17 are vehicles, aircraft, vessels, and assorted transport equipment. 18 is optical, photographic, cinematographical measuring instruments, clocks, musical instruments. 19 is arms and ammunition and parts thereof. 20 is miscellaneous manufactured articles, furniture, bedding, mattresses, cushions, and similar stuffed furnishings. 21 is work of art, collectors' pieces, antiques. And 98 is project imports, laboratory chemicals, passengers' baggage, personal baggage, etc. So I've read this along with you while you're also seeing it. I want you to answer a few questions. How many sections are there and how many chapters are there?
98 chapters, sir.
How many sections? 21. Who's the person who answered the question? May I know your name, please?
Sir, Rishi.
Rishi Desai. Okay. So there are 21 sections in 98 chapters. ये सब आप लोगों ने देख लिया?
Yes, sir.
What is the importance of these various chapters which can come to your mind when you're reading it. On what basis the Indian Tariff Act is being made? जो हम पढ़ रहे हैं अभी section wise. Various chapters on left hand side, commodity names and section names. On what basis it has been grouped?
Raw material to finished goods.
Yeah, Pratiksha. Tell me again.
Raw materials started to raw materials to last finished goods.
So the Indian custom tariff is made and grouped on the increasing degree of manufacture. Live animal से start होता है, then vegetable products, animal products, prepared foodstuffs, beverages. Slowly, the economic activity, manufacturing activity is increasing. Finally, we have section 21, which has chapter 97 and 98. Now, since our main Harta Karta, our RBI, is the world's customs organization, what WCO told us is that you classify the goods, you put whatever rate of duty you want to in your goods as far as your country is concerned, India, other countries. But these 21 sections and 97 chapters which I have made, you cannot even touch it by one comma or cannot change also full stop. Therefore, chapter 1 to 97 in the Customs Tariff Act is fully based on what WCO have told us कि आपको ये काम करना है and nothing else. Therefore, chapter 1 to 97 in an increasing degree of manufacture depending upon the components of the products, mixtures used, all these groupings have been done by the WCO. 1 to 97. And notably, chapter 77 has been kept blank by WCO in case if there is a future use. But what is 98? 98 chapter is more particularly pertaining only to India. So what WCO told us, after 97 you want to add, how many other chapters you add, I've got nothing to do with it. And therefore, 9801 as pleasure imports, 9802 as laboratory chemicals, passengers baggage, personal importation by air or post, ship stores, 9806 imports from Pakistan at 200% duty, are all India specific. So there are how many chapters in the Indian Customs Tariff Act? Indian Customs Tariff Act, I'm saying. 1 to 97 is as per WCO. That I've already taken.
98 chapters.
1 to 98.
Is there a 99 chapter also?
No, sir.
Sushma
Yes,
Pal?
sir.
No. Yes,
Yes,
which
it is there, sir.
Pardon?
It is there, sir. When
Which
goods
one?
are being imported from Pakistan, I think so.
No, that is covered under 9806. Is
IGST.
there a 99 chapter, 100 chapter, anything in Indian Customs Tariff Act?
No.
No, sir.
No?
There is no any chapter of like 99 or 100. It is only 98. As per the
Sir,
WCO, it is 97, and we approach a 98 chapter from WCO, and that's end of the chapters.
Yogi Ishwar has bang on. 99 chapter is the supplies made to India by way
It's
of
IGST.
Now, The IGST is the 99th chapter. What Yogi wrote correctly. That is aligned to the Indian Tariff Act, but only the administrative part of collecting the IGST upon importation, when the supply takes place, that much only the work the Indian customs does. So your IGST tariff heading is aligned to your customs tariff heading for the purpose of uniformity and taking the various rates of duties when imports come into India. Thank you, Yogi. Right, let's go back. So, this is the first schedule. Duties are taken on that. It goes by logically of economic activity or component material comprised in the concerned goods. It starts with animal products, while machinery and mechanical appliances are found across other chapters like section, chapter 84 and 85. So the Indian Custom Tariff Act verbatim follows what has been laid down in the harmonized system by WCO. So what is the deviation here? The predominant deviation in the Indian Custom Tariff Act from the harmonized system can be the current harmonized system up to 6-digit level. But the Indian Custom Tariff Acts up to 8-digit classification. Are you aware of this? So the Indian Custom Tariff is thus a refinement of the harmonized system. That means implies that the alignment obligation of India in terms of HS Convention is satisfied when since we are following chapter 1 to 97 verbatim, word by word, comma by comma, HS code by HS code, WCO said that my work stops classification you have to do up to 6 digits only. As long as the first 6 digits are correctly done by you, my objective has been achieved. After that, you may have 7th, 8th, you may have 8 digit, China has 10 digit, USA has got 10 digits, India has got 8 digits. Therefore, the Indian custom tariff has got a 8-digit nomenclature. The 7th and the 8th digit, which Indian customs has, is mainly used by the government for trade statistics. Number of imports, number of exports, and so on. But otherwise, the WCO says that my classification will be up to 6-digit level only. How we do that will come in the coming slides. So what India has to follow a perfect 6 digits up to chapter 97, which WCO has told us. But the 7th and 8th digit pertains to us, that is India. That is known as a tariff item against which the rate of duty you will find. So you go ahead. We just read this, the first schedule. Coming back to the harmonized system, the 97 chapters which WCO has made are divided into approximately 5,000 headings and subheadings. Okay. Let us see what is the prominent feature of that particular heading. Each and every variety of goods is classified under the harmonized system. The claim that the goods under consideration are so unique that they do not conform to any heading under the harmonized system is therefore not, means there can only be one heading for a particular commodity and not two. It may be that the goods under consideration are specifically described or mentioned in the headings or tariff entries, or else they may be covered under the residual entries. In either cases, the goods under consideration must satisfy the description of the section, chapter, heading, and subheading, and the tariff entry under which the goods have been classified. This is what point number B is actually the concluding part. When you have an invoice in front of you, you have value of $1 lakh, CIF, अभी आपको क्लासिफिकेशन करना है, तो कैसे करेंगे? Then point number B is the concluding part, that the goods under consideration, $1 lakh, are specifically described or mentioned in the heading or the tariff entries, or they may be covered under residual entries. In either case, the goods under consideration must satisfy the description of the section note, chapter notes, heading and the subheading, and accordingly the tariff item is chosen and you file your bill of entry. This is how, broadly speaking, we all classify the goods. If you repeat it, sorry for this. So there can be never two classified any goods. Determination of the classification may be simple or complex. Requires prima facie consideration of two or more tariff entries. मालूम नहीं पड़ेगा. अभी समझो मैं कॉफी पीता हूँ या टी पीता हूँ. Just rather simple. Coffee means coffee powder or roasted coffee beans. You open chapter 9, straight away it comes. Tea comes in chapter 8. It's not very complex. So there could be other products like which are a bit complex, and you need to classify them after reading the rules of classification. Then it requires prima facie consideration of two or more tariff entries. हो सकता है ऐसा भी कि एक में दो entries भी आ सकती है. Involve comparative and technical appreciation of the innate feature of the goods vis-a-vis the tariff. What are the features of the goods? What do they do? What are the trade parlance? What is the sorry. How come this came like this? What is the trade parlance? What is it known as in the market? There could be a point of disagreement between custom administration of different countries. Nonetheless, they are convening one classification under the harmonized system. So what WCO does, every 5 years, all the 200 member countries meet in one of the locations, and they have they regroup, they meet, they discuss various maybe case laws and other kind of features which are there, and then they decide that we need to regroup certain entries and so on. So when there's so WCO sees that every 5 years. So what WCO has done, besides giving the 1 to 97 tariff nomenclature, it has also issued in 5 volumes explanatory notes to HSN, harmonized system of nomenclature, explanatory notes. If you open the explanatory notes and you're not sure where your product will go, the HSN will guide you through where your product can be classified. Harmonized system provides for a commodity product codes up to 4 digits is the heading and 6 digits is the subheading. Heading and subheading, once we do, the harmonized system of nomenclature has been completely fulfilled. WCO allowed to extend, so up to 6 digit level is WCO's prerogative, but WCO said you are allowed to extend the codes up to any level, but subject to the condition that nothing changes at the 4 digit or a 6 digit level. So heading and subheading cannot change. India, as you know, has 8 digit level classification to indicate specific statistical codes for indigenous products and also to monitor the trade volumes. So what is the application of HS codes? Permit declaration of goods, take the rates of various tariff, rules of origin you can see, competent authority product code, and collection of trade statistics. This is what overall is done by application of HS codes. Now comes sections, chapters, and headings in tariff. So there are 21 sections. What is a section? Which I showed you in one of the previous slides. A section, a group of number of chapters. It's not necessarily that they are same for all the groups. Different products sections have maybe more or less chapters, उसमें कोई uniformity नहीं. So section is a grouping of a number of chapters which codify a particular class of goods. Each of the sections related to a broader class. Section 1 is animal products, section 7 is plastics, 11 is textiles, 17 is vehicles, and so on. The section notes are given at the beginning of each section, which governs the entries in that section. So first, every section says that this is going to be number of chapters under me, that is my section. Maybe section 11 will say that under textile and textile products, that look, I'm going to classify, I'll have silk here and cotton and hosiery and so on. And I must follow first the section notes when I do a classification. So section is divided into chapters and chapters into sub-chapters. Each of the sections is divided into various chapters and each chapter contains goods of one particular class. Let us understand this better. On your right hand side, you know what is a chapter and a heading. So chapter heading is 8501 and subheading is 10. So once you meet these 6 digits, the WCO classification is complete. उसके आगे आपको दो digit लगाना है, 10, 20, 30, 40. It's member specific. It's country specific. So the harmonized commodity system is one of the most successful instruments ever developed by the WCO. It's a multi-purpose goods nomenclature used by more than 200 countries and customs or economic unions as a basis for customs tariff and for the compilation of international statistics. Thanks to the versatile structure and the multi-purpose nature, the HS as the true language of international trade is also used for many other purposes such as trade policy, rules of origin, monitoring of control goods, internal taxes, tariff, freight tariffs, transport statistics, quota, economic research analysis. Governments and businesses alike use the HS as a unique way of identifying and coding merchandise in order to facilitate international trade and customs regulations and applications. The HS is therefore an important instrument not only for WCO but for various public, private institutions who are involved in world trade. Since we have more than 5,000 commodity groups and thousands and so many sections, so many chapters, what WCO said that I'm going to develop how will you apply the general interpretative rules to classify a particular product. If you do not know how to classify it, let me help you to properly classify when a certain imports are done. So there are basically 6 rules, principally 4 rules. 5th and 6th are not rules, but they aid the rules of classification. So the general interpretive rules are to be applied for interpretation of a particular tariff if classification is not possible on the basis of tariff entry and relevant chapter notes and section notes. Naturally, these rules have to be applied in a sequential manner. Rule 1, Rule 2, Rule 3, and Rule 4 as a clear. So Rule 1, then we have Rule 2 broken up into 2 parts, Rule 3 broken up into 3 parts, and so on. Rules have to be applied sequentially. The rules are to be applied sequentially means Rule 1 gives precedence to section notes and chapter notes by classifying a product. So when you are first doing a product, you have to first go and read the section notes and the chapter notes, and only then you classify the product. So your first classification is tested on the first rule. Let us see if it cannot be done, then what happens next. So this is how you read Custom Tariff Act. Let's skip this for the time being. So we have sections, chapters, and subchapters. heading, subheading, and tariff item. 8-digit code, chapter, heading, subheading, tariff entry. This is for India. What does Rule 1 say? That the titles and the sections and chapters are provided for ease of reference only. What it is trying to tell us that you're supposed to read first the section note for that particular group, then come to the chapter notes and see whether your product actually falls or doesn't fall. Right? So section notes and chapter notes have overriding effect. Classification is to be determined only on the basis of description of the heading read with the relevant section notes or chapter notes. Now, what does this mean is that what this particular Rule 1 is trying to tell us that first, just because you have a certain commodity and you want to classify and along with that commodity, that doesn't mean that you have done it correctly. You have to read Rule 1, for example, very, very thoroughly, and only then you have to go ahead. So what it's trying to say is the words in the chapter notes. So the section notes and the chapter notes are basically to be used for guidelines to the point of the area of the tariff in which the product to be classified is likely to be found. आपको लगेगा कि आपका यहाँ पे product classify हो रहा है, then you have to read as per Rule 1. So articles may be included in or excluded from a section or a chapter note. We need to see that also. That is why it is important first to apply Rule 1 and see whether your particular product is applied there or it is not applied. Let us move forward. The headings and legal note must be first considered when determining the classification. 2 to 5 can be used. Only one rule number 1 has failed. The rules must be in a hierarchy order, means one after the other. All goods must be classified according to the terms of heading and text in the nomenclature, and any relevant or relative section note and chapter notes. You have the product, you have the heading and the text in the nomenclature also, but you must read first the relative chapter note and also the section note. Here an example here. This is applying Rule 1. Toothbrushes. You first go read that particular section, and then you find out that toothbrushes are miscellaneous manufactured articles. They are covered in chapter 96. This is one example of Rule 1. 9603, I beg your pardon. Broom. So you go through first and see whether it is classified there correctly or not, and then you find out the 960321 is toothbrushes, including dental plates and brushes. This is how you actually classify under Rule 1. Once you have determined the 4-digit heading, and then you search for the 8-digit heading, not 10-digit, 8-digit heading, and then you find out 96032100 is for toothbrushes. Another example of JRI 1 is coffee. Now, coffee means the seed of the coffee tree, but does not include the seed while it is still attached to the tree. If it is attached to the tree, then does not come out of coffee tea. Then it comes under the first or second or third chapter of the JRI. So here you have roasted tea, you have grounded coffee, and so on. That is how you classify under JRI 1. Simple and commodity found products such as apples can be classified under JRI 1 straight away. Apples, oranges, peaches, and so on. But carbonated fruit juice, sweetened grape flavored carbonated drink under HS code 22029950, which is an ASEAN harmonized trade classification for the tariff for non-other aerated beverages ready for immediate consumption without dilution. If you're looking for the term sparkling grape juice or grape juice, you'll never be able to find it. So you have to read the chapter notes first and the section notes like this. Dentist chairs, drawing chalk, cotton chairs. But there's one more example. Coming back to this, is that sometimes you need to understand that why section notes and chapter notes are important. Suppose you have a Christmas tree Now, Christmas tree comes under chapter 9505. Chapter 9505 1000 or 1090. So that is correctly done. But when you have candles, which may be required to put on that Christmas tree, then the section note and chapter notes very clearly says that, look, if it's candles, then it is made up of wax. So it should go under chapter 3406 and not under chapter 9505. And this is why we need to appreciate the reason why under GRI with the first rule interpretation, you need to understand the section notes and the chapter notes, what is included or what may be excluded. What may be excluded. This is as far as the first rule of interpretation is concerned, which I have just shared with you. Would you like to ask any questions? Anybody? I can't see anyone's faces excepting the what is in front of me. No questions? Now, suppose the goods.
So,
Rohan Joshi, yes.
yeah. Let's say a commodity like a tablet, but with calling capability, SIM card capability. How would you classify that? Would it fall under a tablet or would that fall under a phone or how?
85 tablet. It's got a specific heading.
Oh.
So open chapter 85. Read the rules. Read the chapter notes and section notes. If the chapter note says that what kind of tablet can come or cannot come, accordingly you classify. See, you know that it's a computer tablet. You have a cell phone, you have a laptop, you have a desktop. All these are different parts of application of computers. But whether they fall under a particular heading in chapter 85 or no, you'll have to read the chapter notes first to understand all the section notes. कि इसमें क्या आ सकता है, क्या नहीं आ सकता.
Thank you.
Therefore, the example of that candle to be put on a Christmas tree, I have to put it in chapter 3406 and not under chapter 95. Right.
So schedule 1 and schedule 2.
Hello.
One minute. Let the lady talk. Let the lady talk. Yes.
So schedule 1 and schedule 2. HS code will be the same, right?
HS code will be the same. HS code will be the same for both. Yes. You are talking about the export schedule for certain item and you are comparing with the import schedule. That is what you are asking, Anita.
Yes. If I'm checking, in the import the HS code, it's mentioned in Tariff Act. So it will be the same if I'm exporting the same item. Right?
Yes.
May I talk, sir?
Yes, you can ask. You can ask.
So, fish oil used in animal will fall under which chapter?
Which one?
Fish lipid oil for animal.
Sorry?
Fish oil for animal will fall
Fish
under
oil. Fish oil.
For animal. For animal feeding, sir.
Offhand, I'll not be able to tell you, but I can answer it later on. How to find out that fish oil? So,
no. I just want to ask you that fish oil for animal feeding, it will fall under which chapter? Correct.
So I'll have to read the chapter and tell you that the fish oil. So fish is covered under chapter 1. Okay, example. That is the live animals. Then we have chapter 2, chapter 3. Then I'll have to see where, under which chapter oil is there of fish. So I'll need some time to open the tariff and tell you. But right now I don't have the tariff in front of me. I'll have to get it and show it to you, but I can answer it. It's not a big problem.
Okay, fine.
What I'm trying to explain here is that for different commodities, what are the way क्या बोलते हैं उसको? You classify various products. Okay. Now the next rule is rule 2A and 2B. So rule 2, unlike rule 1, rule 2 is broken up into two parts, 2A and 2B. It says that, now why do we have rule 2 and 2B? Now you all know that, of course, I mean, since last 50 years, now we have containerized cargo coming, 20 feet, 40 feet, 55 years. So 20 feet and 40 feet containers have got a certain diameter, length, height, width, breadth, all are same. And we are paying freight to bring the cargo into India or take it from India. So rule 2A was suggestive of the fact that since we have now limited 20 by 8 by 8 or 40 by 8 by 8 space available, or 8.5 feet available, high cube for example, and we have to export certain products, then let us have rule 2A, which is suggestive that I may have goods in incomplete or unfinished form, provided the incomplete or unfinished goods have the essential character of the complete or finished goods. So that's what rule 2A says. So because in a container, I've got 20 feet space available, I may have to dismantle something so that I can properly put it in the container and stuff my container with the goods to be exported. So rule 2A again is broken up into two parts. Rule 2A, उसमें भी 2A का 1 है, 2A का 2.
વચ્ચે આવીશ 4:30 સુધી 4:30 સુધી નીચે આવીશ, પછી ત્યાં હું લિંક કરો ધ્યાન નીચે મોકલી દેજે.
Sid, if you can keep your mobile completely off, then be better with all this. I don't want to know where you are going at 4:05. Sorry to tell you all this.
અરે ટ્રેનિંગ પ્રોગ્રામ ચાલે.
So that's, at least put you on mute. Okay. Now, in rule 2A again we have two parts. One is this complete or unfinished, and one is completely knocked down. CKD condition बोलते हैं हम लोग उसको. दोनों इसमें आते हैं. So any reference to complete goods also includes incomplete or unfinished good if such incomplete or finished goods have the essential characteristic of the finished goods. Is the first part of rule 2A, and the heading will also include finished goods removed, unassembled or disassembled, that is in semi knocked down condition or completely knocked down condition. Second part of it says that CKD SKD में होगा तो भी it will be covered under rule 2A. Why? Because sometimes you cannot export in full assembled condition. जगह का constraint रहता है 20 feet में, 40 feet container में. So I do it in semi knockdown or completely knocked down. But what is important, the goods are fully manufactured in the factory itself, but they are only sent for in CKD and SKD condition for the matter of convenience. Let us say what it says further. So rule 2 has to be applied. Essential, not this. Sorry, I am not going on this. So incomplete or unfinished articles and assembled, disassembled articles are finished or complete. You can see this unassembled oil platform. If the platform is complete but unassembled, apply the same rule as a complete platform. In this case, we go on chapter under HS code 84304994. Another example, essential character: car without tires, motor vehicles without wheels, or watch without a strap. Or we can take a cycle without the seat, or without the chain, but it's got the essential characteristic of a finished goods. This is unassembled or disassembled or completely knocked down condition example. So a complete or finished article presented for classification in an assembled or disassembled state is to be classified under the same heading that of a assembled article. Few examples are in front of you. I have not somehow put air conditioned here, but another one thing is air conditioned, which you have in your house or office, which is in CKD or SKD condition. Have a look at this particular chart. Pardon? I could. Any question, anyone? Let me go back a bit. Sorry.
Sir, my question is, as we have imported one of a CKD SKD condition machinery, and if we have to export an part of that machinery, how do we classify that particular part?
Can you tell me the name of the part? I'll help you. You have imported machinery in full. That's what you are saying.
Yes, but in the CKD SKD manner.
So that has come to your factory now.
Yes.
And some part has got spoiled.
So if
some
part has got spoiled,
you have to send it for repairs. That's what you are saying.
Yes, correct.
So you need to tell me, what part it is.
So suppose I've bought it in machinery and I have to re-export its part for repair and maintenance purpose permanently to the consignee. Suppose it's an battery or suppose it's an power generating tool, then how do we classify it?
So what I understand from your question is that you imported in CKD SKD condition one machinery under chapter 84, for example.
Correct.
Now one part of that, maybe a pump or whatever you're saying, is going for repairs.
Correct.
And maybe after repair it may come back. Is that right?
Right, sir.
Because it's under warranty and the manufacturer of a whom you bought it said, "Okay, ye wapas bhej do, I will repair it and give it back to you." Is that what you meant?
Yes, sir.
So what part is going? Tell me that.
It's an power generating tool, like an thyristor kind of a thing, sir.
Power generating tool, right? Made up of what?
Kind of a battery.
It's like a battery, means
Yes.
lithium cadmium battery or something like that.
Correct.
So where is battery classified? Under which chapter? So first go through rule 1 and see that battery is classified where? Under which chapter? Nickel cadmium or whichever battery, your lithium ion, जो भी बैटरी है आपका, वो जो बैटरी पे जो क्लासिफाई होगा वही पे क्लासिफाई करेंगे आप, not the full machine. What this particular exercise is trying to tell us is that even if you import something in full, does it have the essential characteristic of a complete machine? Yes. In your case, it is CKD, SKD. In my case, it is a motor car or it's a bicycle. It has got the essential characteristics. Therefore, I classified as if it's a car without tires or seats. Or if I import a bus and there are no seats inside, and it's just like that, but it has got the essential kind of. This particular exercise telling us that for different kinds of imports also, what are the way you are supposed to classify. Your product is a single product, so it does not come under chapter 84. It will come as a part of the machine. So it's a battery out here, then go as a battery.
Okay,
Hello.
sir.
1 plus
Hello.
CPH 2467 raised hand. Yeah, please talk.
Sir, like I am a trader and I am importing ink from the Japan, and now without taking any benefit, I am sending it to Saudi Arabia. So custom is asking NDPS certificate and COA. So is it correct?
Pardon? Custom asking you what?
NDPS, narcotic certificate, and COA, certificate of analysis. And my
Your material is in bond. Your material is in bond, right?
no. It is we are importing, and importer is different and exporter is different. Exporter is trader, sir.
Exporter is trader. Who's the importer? You.
Importer is Hitachi, another importer, and exporter is taking from trading from the another vendor. And now they export, but custom is asking for the NDPS narcotic certificate and COA. एक्चुअली जापान मेड है तो फिर वो तो एनडीपीएस और ये सीओए तो रहेगा नहीं ना, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडियन नहीं है.
नहीं, लेकिन एनडीपीएस पूछ रहा है तो व्हाट बेसिस दैट यू टेल मी.
32 चैप्टर है, 3215 इंक प्रिंटिंग इंक.
See, ink is the other chapter 32. Everyone knows dyes, no problem.
Yeah.
We know that. But why they are asking, I will not be able to tell you from the classification point of view. Yours is a regulatory point of view. Ink is going out again from the trader has bought from the Hitachi or whatever, and they are, or Hindustan Inks, for example, and now he's exporting it, is a different matter.
Yeah.
Classification is not here important.
But
the dispute of classification is not there. In your case, there's a dispute about allied acts.
Okay.
So that I cannot answer just from classification point of view.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
If there is a classification issue between what you have classified and what the custom is saying, then it's a different matter. Then I can tell you what to tell the Indian customs.
Right.
ऐसे में आपको NDPS का निकाला है तो क्यों निकाला? I don't know.
Yes.
Have you seen the Indian NDPS Act? Is the product in that? Have you seen that? Do you have the NDPS Act in front of you or in your office? First, read that.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So we have done rule 2A, we've done rule 1, rule 2A. And now I'll go on ahead. What is rule 2B? Now you can see rule 2B is that it may be possible that one particular product may have a combination of 2 or 3 other products. Products of base metal will have 3 kinds of steels. Or I may have a ring which has got gold also and has got diamonds also. So there's a mixture or a combination, and therefore I'll have to scratch my head कि इसमें कौन सा मिक्सचर ज्यादा है कम है, for example. So how do I interpret this? So rule 2B says that any reference to a heading to a material or a substance shall be taken to include a reference to mixture or combination of that material or substance with other materials or substances. Okay. The classification of consisting. So what this says that when we have 2 mixtures, so we don't know किसमें जाएगा, then we have to follow what is given in rule 3, because there is a mixture here. कौन सा ज़्यादा है कम, I don't. For example, suppose I have 1 kilo of atta. उसमें 500 grams I've got suppose wheat and 500 grams I have millet. तो दोनों 500 ग्राम है, दोनों मेरिट कंसिडरेशन, दोनों को मैंने मिक्स किया. अभी ये मिक्सचर हो गया, रूल 2B में आता है, तो आई डोंट नो व्हाट टू डू. व्हीट में डालू या whether I should put in millet. So in such cases, what the rules of interpretation tell us that you have to do rule 3. So what is rule 3? I will tell you. So there's a limitation to rule 2B. It applies to mixtures and combinations, and thus there could be a dispute. So let us see what happens further when we have a dispute for different kind of mixtures. So here, see, for example, this is a particular example of a stainless steel. The fork is of stainless steel, but the handle is of plastic. We get no in the market. ऊपर प्लास्टिक रहता है, अंदर स्टेनलेस स्टील है. तो किस में जाएगा? स्टेनलेस स्टील में जाएगा, प्लास्टिक में जाएगा? So then we have to go as per rule 3, which is what is known as the tiebreaker section. जो tiebreaker rule बोलते हैं, उसको rule 3 बोलते हैं. कि भाई this is a tiebreaker rule, and I don't know how to classify it when there are two mixtures. So let us see in such case what happens. Mixtures and combinations. Here we have the example of dicalcium citrate, but we also have a wooden carpenter's steel blade. So blade is of the wood is of 44, blade is of 82. There are two articles. Then you have to read the chapter note of 44 and chapter note of 82, note 1A. And see कि भाई 82 1A में जाएगा क्योंकि वो blade है, but it's a carpenter's tool, and so on. So when rule 2B, for another reason, we cannot classify, then we have to follow rule 3A, 3B, and 3C in the order of priority. 3A is more specific. 3B is essential character of mixture and composite goods, or C, which is having last in numerical order. Let us go one by one. Heading which provides the most specific description shall be preferred to heading providing a more general description. However, when two or more headings each refer to only part of the material or substances contained in mixed or composite goods, or to part only of the item in a set, those headings are to be regarded as equally specific in relation to those goods, even if one of them gives a more complete or precise description of the goods. Therefore, we do rule 3A. So electric shaving machine under 8510, that is shavers and clippers with self-contained electric motor, is more specific than description of the heading 8509. That is electromechanical domestic appliances with self-contained electric motor. VIP bag is made of plastic, chapter 39. But it's got a specific entry as suitcases, and therefore the entry of suitcase will prevail over the entry plastic articles. Similarly, kitchen sink will be classified as household sanitary ware and not household articles of iron and steel. This is what is basically of 3A. When there are two or more headings possible, and we need to classify on the essential character rule, that is rule 3A. Have a look. This is the most frequently invoked rule of interpretation, and that is rule 3A. I got another few examples to give you, like here. In the car, we have tuft textile carpet for cars. So will it go under chapter 57 or 87? Which is the more specific description? Then there's a textile carpet. Mint tea. So what is mint? In the tea you have added mint leaves, so it becomes mint tea. But basically it is a tea. So more specific description will prevail over a general description. Because two or more things are added here, then how will you classify? I'll go down a few more examples which I've already given that. Chapter 8510, 8509.
Sir, please explain the wheat flour and millet flour example.
That is coming now.
Okay.
That will come now.
Sir, does the classification also changes with the form of the product? Like if it comes in a liquid or solid or semi-solid, viscous?
No. Wax is wax. If it is wax in a form of candles or with wax in your tank container, it is a wax. Paraffin wax. That doesn't change.
Sir, what if sterilized water and injection both come along with each other?
Sterilized water and
injection drug.
So what is means the drug or the needle?
Both. It's an sterilized water which is combined component along with the injection drug.
So there are two vials which have come. One is the drug and one is the.
It's not needle. It's complete.
One is a drug, which is a small glass vial, for example.
Yes.
A small bottle, example.
Yes. In one packet. In one packet, we got an sachet of sterilized water along with the drug.
So the sterilized water is supposed to be used with the drug?
Yes. It's part of that combine.
Does it have any other use?
It combinedly united formation which injected in human body.
Suppose the sterilized water, can I drink it?
No, you can't drink directly. It has to be mixed with the drug and injected
then the drug has to
into
be
the human
injected
body.
in the human body.
Yes.
Can be classified as per that particular drug which you are imported.
Okay, sir.
So, sir, in this drug and sterilized water case, since drug is the main component, do we take that drug HSN into consideration over the sterilized water?
So the sterile water is not specifically included in the import, what this gentleman imported is certain drug. And part of it is a sterile water, which is part of it. It is not that there are 10 vials, 10 bottles of, suppose there are 10 bottles of drugs and 10 vials separately with separate values. In such case, it is different. In his case, it is not like that. They are supplied along with the main drug, and therefore they have to be classified as the main drug. So we have another example. I was just thinking, you have ice cream which you have in the ice cream parlor, and sometimes we have that nuts on it. Maybe there's a cake, or maybe there is that biscuit on it. But it's so how will you classify that? So specific heading prevails. It's still an ice cream. You may have put nuts on it, or you may have put some chocolate sauce, or you may have put some cake, biscuits, but still it is an ice cream. So that is why more specific description prevails over general description is what Rule 3A is trying to tell us. What 3B tells us, there are a lot of mixtures and composite goods of different materials different components which I cannot classify on the essential characters test, then how do I do it? In such case, I will do it when if they are put together in retail kind of a thing, I will put it as for. So mixtures, composite goods consisting of different materials or made up of different components and goods put up in sets which cannot be classified by reference to 3A shall be classified as if they consisted of the materials or components which gives them the essential character insofar this criteria is concerned. So I've got different products, different kind of applications. So they are put up in retail sale, and therefore I'll apply rule 3B. Mixtures. So for the purpose of this rule, what all do we have? We have mixtures, we have composite goods of different materials, we have composite goods of different components. Goods are put up as retail sale. That means there should be at least more than 2 such different articles. And these 2 different articles put together will meet a particular need or carry out a specific activity. That is why it goes under rule 3B. We have Camlin pencil box. We have pencil, we have a sharpener, we have a leather case, etc., whatever. But they'll go under 9017 as drawing instruments. So rule 3 can be applied only when identification of rule 3 providing for preference to more specific heading is possible. An importer bringing liquor gift sets that include the bottle of liquor and glasses must be classified the goods under the appropriate liquor heading. The essential character of the item is liquor itself and not the glasses that contains with the set. Men's shaving set does the shaver handle, shaving cream or the blade cartridge give them the essential character? What if the shaving cream was specifically formulated and extremely expensive and only reason a person would buy the set in the first place to hold the cream? Would it change your opinion? No, it will be still a shaving kit. A spy pen with a hidden video camera recorder is classified as a video recorder and not as a simple pen. These are examples of rule 3B. Here also I have a sandwich where I've got different ingredients which I put. So what do I classify it as wafers or potato chips or the whatever is there in that beef? No, there will be 1602 because it's a sandwich. And the last is rule 3C, which Kalpesh asked me that when I have 2 or more things which are both are equally seem to be classifiable, how do I resolve my query? In such case, I will take latter the better. So if the HS code of millet is after the HS code of wheat, although both are 500 grams, latter the better, last in numerical order will merit consideration as far as this particular criteria is concerned, which is the last part of rule 3, and that is rule 3C. Occurs last in the numerical order. One example here. Here I've given an example. A gift set includes socks. Heading 6115 and ties 6117 cannot be classified by the previous rule since neither of them give the gift set is associated character. The gift set must be classified under the heading for ties, which is the last in the numerical order. If you have a bag containing 5 chopped apples, 5 chopped pears of the same value, weight, and quality, you could use the rule to classify the product as pears since HS code of pears appears after that of apples. This is what is our socks and mufflers here, which I have given of 1615 and 166117. Last in the numerical order. This is what the third rule is. I'll go on to the next rule. The goods can be classified in two more cases. Choose more specific heading. Mixtures are classified based upon components and gives them the essential character. If products cannot be determined by the above, classify in the last numerical order. So if 3A is not possible, 3B is also not possible, then do it as per 3C. Last rule, classification, Akin goods. That Akin means, so 1 to 3 is now not possible. Now I have to finally come to be classified by to which they are Akin. Akin means what they are actually used as. What is the trade parlance for this? Now, how do I use these goods? Because I have to import has come. I must have one classification for one particular product, and therefore I used to use this particular group known as the kinship rule or the Akin goods. So goods which cannot be classified according to the above rule shall be classified under the heading appropriate to the goods to which they are most akin or similar. So relationship with a particular heading depends upon the description, purpose and use of the goods. In the bazaar, what are these known as? With the relationship established, then the goods must be classified where they are akin to the description in the tariff. This is the last rule of interpretation, Akin. Give some examples. I've just taken them down. Micronutrients which we have are akin to fertilizers, so they'll be classified under fertilizers. Then we have birth seats. Birth means in the railway compartment, no, we have 2, 8 or 3, tier 3, tier 2. We have seats. They are akin to railway coaches. Then we have ceramic fountains, in a big building. When you're in a big society, you have a garden, you have ceramic fountains in that where water goes and then again comes back and again goes back, spraying and circulating water. It's akin to a fountain and not to any ornamental object. Then classification of scrap, photographic film waste, having base of polyester akin to waste. The classification of glass mosaic tiles as articles of stone, plaster, cement, asbestos akin to building materials. Classification of products resulting from breaking of old bricks and brickbats and producing new bricks is akin to bricks, and classification of waveguides which carry the same function to coaxial cables by facilitating transmission of electromagnetic waves. These are a few examples that what Rule 4 says that. So Rule 4 does not always have a very frequent application as what Rule 3 has, but still there is a rule. It is to most akin. That is Rule 4. Goods which are akin or similar. Interestingly, Rule 5 talks about not the goods, but it talks about packing material which comes along with the goods. It does not talk about the goods. Goods we know have come. But there are so many different kinds of packing materials which can come with the goods. How do I classify it? So a camera case, musical instrument in a guitar, gun cases, drawing instrument, necklace cases. They are specifically made to fit it for repetitive use. Although made maybe of leather, plastic, or maybe wood. So it's got a long-term use, repetitive use, and only in that gun case or in the guitar case, a musical instrument can be fitted. And such cases will be classified along with that particular camera or that the guitar and so on. That's what is rule 5 as far as packing is concerned. That is what is rule 5A. There are two parts to rule 5, 5A and 5B. So what does basically rule 5 contain? Only contains specific article or specific for their design specifically to accommodate the article for which they are intended, and they are shaped in that particular format. And of course, it is suitable for long-term use as far as that particular article is concerned. They are also present in the articles which they are intended. Whether or not that article is separately packed or not packed doesn't matter. And all these packing materials are normally sold along with the article which you buy. You buy a gun, naturally the gun case will come. You buy a guitar, the guitar case will come, and so on. This is as far as rule 5A is concerned, because this rule does not apply to containers which give them the essential character. This is repetitive use and shaped in a particular form. But this is one example here. What happens to other packing material like drums, carboys, these cardboard boxes? They are only used once or twice to remove the goods from that particular item. Then they are not they have to be classified separately in case they come. What kind of product it is made up of, what kind of features, paper, cardboard, iron and steel, plastic, HMHDEP, and so on. So industrial gas cylinders should be classified as gas cylinders and not classified as gas they contain. Reusable liquid canister meant for transporting large quantities of liquids will be classified as the liquidate. No, it would not be classified as liquidate contained. So these are of different kinds, and they must be classified depending on what merit they have. Whereas 5A is very specific along with a specific shape, and they have to be classified with the product. But here it is not so as far as rule 5B is concerned. So packing material and packing containers present with the goods normally used for packing such goods classify with the goods. So styrofoam chips used for padding and insulation of many goods. Rarely the chips are reused. So classification of chips shall be along with the main goods. Now all this comes when you read the chapter notes and the section notes. But it doesn't apply to containers for a repetitive use. This is if they are separately classified. Coming back here, so goods can be compared at the same level only. So subheadings in the classification goods of a heading shall be determined according to the terms of these headings and related subheadings notes, and side by side to the rule on the understanding that only subheadings of the same level are comparable. So for the purpose of this rule, the related chapter notes and section notes also apply unless it context otherwise provided. I'll give you an example. You have ready-made garments. So ready-made garments, you have menswear. Under menswear, you have suits. Then you may have shirts. Then you have others. Then you have ladies. Then you may be having salwar, kameez, skirts, and then other. So the men's other can be compared only with the menswear in that particular heading, not with the ladies other. That is what it is trying to say. So rule 6 states that the classification of goods on the subheadings shall be determined in those subheadings. Only subheadings the same level are comparable. That's what it is trying to say. So the others of men's cannot be compared with others of ladies, only at the same level. And this is what is about rule 6 as such. Any question, ask me. Huh? Now we have classification of parts. Parts are of two types. Understand that. Parts are of general use. Yeah. Tell me. Somebody is talking. So we have parts of two types. We have parts of general use and parts of specific use also. दो type के part आते हैं. Parts are of thousands of parts. So classification of parts is subject to notes and again chapter notes. Sorry? I could understand. You can repeat your question. Yeah. So classification of parts is subject to chapter notes and section notes. Questions of classification of parts is relevant for machinery, electrical equipment, vehicles, instruments, arms, furniture, and toys. A part is an essential component of the whole without which the maybe the product cannot function. Accessory is something supplementary or subordinate in nature and need not be an essential or actual functioning of the product. Part of the component whose absence will disable the machine or the appliance. Therefore, it must be regarded as an essential ingredient of the part or of the machine. Broadly, parts are suitable solely for a particular machine, generally fall in the same heading in which the main item falls. But there could be some exceptions. The parts of general use are not classified as a part of any particular machine. Parts of general use are to be classified in their respective specific heads and not to be classified under the heading of the machine where they are used. Parts are to be classified as parts if separate headings are available for parts as per section note 2 of section 16 and section note 2 of section 18. This you need to know. So when you're classifying parts for machinery or some other parts, you need to know as per chapter, you must go through chapter 82 to 96 and find out what does the section note say? What does the chapter note say for classification of part? Is it an essential part or is it only part for general use? If the section note says it's going to be part of general use only, which cannot be classified in that particular chapter, you will have to go back. It's made up of plastic, made of iron and steel, rubber.
ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ ಇದು ನಾನು ನೋಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅದು
Sorry?
ತೆಗಿತಾರ ಫೋನ್
Somebody said something, but so where is article just specified in the notes of chapter say 6 and 8? Haseen Taj, please mute yourself. Haseen Taj. Haseen Taj, please mute yourself. So where the article is specified in notes of chapter 6 and 8 are not to be classified as part of the particular machine. Example, articles of leather, belts, tools, and appliances, instruments, clocks, and watches has to go as per each individual heading. So the parts of general use, pipes and fittings, standard wire, ropes, cables, chains, nails, screws, bolts. All these are of general use. So when you're doing classification of parts under this rule, you have to see the terms of the subheading and related subheading notes. And only then you have to classify the parts, whether it's for a general use or whether it's for a specific use. These are few examples. How do you classify? What are the key points for classification? So key points, what are the steps you'll take when you're classifying certain goods? Refer to the heading and subheading. Then read the corresponding section notes and chapter notes. If there is no ambiguity or confusion, your classification is done under rule 1 only, directly first rule of the GIR. You do not have to look for classification rules or trade practice or dictionary meaning at all anywhere now. If classification is not possible, then only go to the GIR. Then the rules have to be applied sequentially. If the meaning of the word is not clear, भाई क्या है इसको क्या है तो trade practice में उसको क्या बोलते हैं बाजार में what is it known as? If the trade understanding of product cannot be established, then find the technical or the dictionary meaning of the term which is used in the tariff. You can also refer to the BI standards, but trade practice first comes before you go do all that. Similarly, if the goods are incomplete or unfinished, for the classification of the finished product, apply rule 2, essential character. If ambiguity persists, go to rule 3A, which is specific, heading specific, prevails over more general, VIP bags, kitchen sink, and so on. If you still cannot solve the problem, find out the material or component giving the essential character to the goods, 3B. And then if they are sold in retail sale, then you have to classify them accordingly. Again, both are equally specific. Then the last rule applies. That is the latter the better, wheat, flour, and millet. If you are unable to still do the entry, then find what is most akin under rule 4. In case of mixtures or sets too, the produce is more or less the same, except that each ingredient of the mixture or set has been given a particular sequence as per rule 2B. Any reference to a material substance includes, which is that material substance or with other material substance. So this is another basic way you have to classify your goods of various goods. So always remember to read the chapter notes and section notes. Still, if you cannot do it under section 1, go to 2A, 2B, 3A, 3B, 3C, and then finally trade parlance 4, most akin. Parts you know how to classify, packing material you know how to classify, which goes along with that particular product under 5A. And 5B have general use. If you bring a HMHDP barrel, you can use it for 10 things. Then it will not be classified along with the product. This is what I have done. If you have any questions, please ask.
So Rishi here. We had this case where an exporter declares about 10, 12 items under parts of industrial raw furniture.
I made one mistake. Just a second. In my hurry, yeah, you carry on, Rishi.
Yes, sir.
Keep talking. Keep talking.
So the exporter declared it at a part of industrial machinery and furnace, and it has about 10 odd items like boiler, then certain.
What is the name of the product? What is the name of the product?
So they declare it in a general, sir, under 84 chapter, but it has different items. Silico
So
manganese
are all the 1 minute, just a minute. Are all the different items compulsorily supplied with the machine?
Sorry, sir, I didn't get you.
You have 10 items for a particular machine, you said, correct?
Yes, sir.
Are all the 10 items compulsory supplied with the machine?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So suppose there are one item has not come, so the machine will not work. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir. So is it legitimate to declare all the 10 items under one heading and one HSM?
I'll just answer your question. Just give me 1 minute. I made a mistake.
Sure, sir.
I was supposed to play the PPT because this is not my course. It is of JBS Academy. So I made a mistake. I'll have to share the screen. Give me 1 minute, please. I'll just just be a bit patient. I'll answer your question. Just wait. Sorry, 1 minute. Huh? Yeah, Rishi, can you continue your question? Rishi?
Yes, sir. So my question was,
Yes.
when there are 10 odd items which is being declared under one HSN as a part of machinery, then is it legitimate that the classification is correct or not, sir?
No. What you told me that in your case, the material has been supplied for 10 items and all 10 of them have got certain use. That's what you are mentioning.
Yes, but it is a part of machinery, sir.
I understand it's a part of machinery, but in such cases, the accessory condition rules 1963 will apply. And what are the main machine which you have imported? It will go under that particular heading only, and not other headings where it may be made of iron and steel, or maybe made of rubber, plastic, and so on. Get my point or no?
Sir, this is more with respect to export, basically, because when you are declaring under one HSN, the drawback on that particular HSN may be higher than those other 10 items which are having either no drawback or lesser drawback. So in that case, an exporter should classify all the items and
Yeah. So what is your main product? You are selling it in CKD condition, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What is the main product? What is the main product name as? First tell me that.
Industrial
आपका
machinery
product का
for
नाम क्या है?
industrial machinery for furnace. That's what the
Machinery
heading
है
has
ना?
been. Yes.
Chapter 84 में आता है.
Yes.
So it has to go as per chapter 84. Specific heading is available or not available?
Available, sir.
That has to go with that. उसमें now come to drawback. What is your question on drawback?
So, sir, suppose if a drawback on 84 chapter is, let's say, 5%, for example, and the other items which is a part of that machinery has no drawback.
Okay.
Then customs may raise an eyebrow on exporters that they are kind of misdeclaring the goods as a part of machinery and claiming higher drawback. Is it possible, sir?
No. It is not possible because the product for the 5 products drawback is already mentioned, correct, in the rate in the book. For 5 products A, B, C, D, and E, there is a drawback mentioned, correct, or not mentioned?
Not, sir. The filing is only under one heading, that is machinery.
Right.
So suppose the drawback on machinery is 5%, but the item A, B, C, D, E has, let's say, no drawback. But still the importer is claiming drawback just because it is declared under 84 chapter.
You have to go as per, so for export product tariff number should be equal to the drawback tariff number, as simple as that. 84 chapter, whatever you're exporting in 10 ways, has to be part of the tariff itself. Means the finished product, HS code 8406, for example, should tie up with 8406 of the drawback schedule.
Okay, sir.
If you have any problem, then you can ask me. I can answer it in a proper manner.
No problem, sir. I'll yeah.
So I was coming back to that. First, you have to read the notes. And before you read the notes, you have to read the This is the section 6 starts with chapter 28. So first you have to read what is known as the section notes. Then you have to read the chapter notes which are there in that particular heading. This is how you're supposed to do it. And then when rule 1 is not applied, then you have to go from 2 to 5. Anyone has any questions, please ask me. I'll hold on because I cannot read so many messages. So I would request you to unmute and talk.
Sir, hello.
Sumit Ghosh.
Yes, sir. Sir, I have the same condition as Rishi has, but I have the condition in import cases. The machinery is same. The parts of machinery are as described the same.
Compulsory described. Compulsory send.
Yes.
उसके बगैर मशीन चलेगा या नहीं चलेगा पहले वो बोलो.
No, sir.
नहीं चलेगा.
No, but the importer is declaring the each part of machinery separately.
No need. Hello, listen. Is the value of the machine only $1 lakh, right?
Yes.
Has he given the value for all the separate items? No.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then to
They are
accessory
giving
condition. No. In that case, it does not fall under accessory condition rules. If the supplier of yours is giving one machine of $1 lakh and includes those 9 other parts, saying that they are compulsory supplied, there is no separate kind of material for that, and it is essentially to be done for starting the machine, then the accessory condition rule is met, then you have to only do $1 lakh. But in your case, the plastic, the rubber, the stainless steel, all that is separately given of different parts. Then you have to classify accordingly.
But the machinery is one, sir.
Pardon?
The machinery is one.
Correct, but why is he giving it separately? No need to give separately. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Have you paid for the machine or you have paid for all the 10 together? Please understand.
Right now, as given in the invoice, I have to declare all the goods and in the separate rates of duty.
That's what I'm telling you. Your client has imported the machine. The fact that other 9 things have come because they were supposed to come. Without
Yes,
that, the machine will not work. So your client has paid $1 lakh for the machine, and that includes the other 9 parts. Please understand that, Sumit.
So there is no need to declare other things separately.
But the important ingredient of the accessory condition rule is that the value of the other 9 parts should not be shown, and it should be certified that it is compulsory supplied with the main machine.
If it is shown in the invoice in one item or one machinery, then I can put it in one machinery and parts of machinery. Otherwise, I have what I am doing.
Other 9 parts, you have already classified as the main machine. You don't have to classify separately. You have to classify only one part. If the values are shown separately of 10 different items, then it does not come under chapter 84. So उसको आपको अलग-अलग करना पड़ेगा. I hope you are understanding now.
Yes.
I was supposed to use this PPT, but I'm just going through it once again because quite a few students are still there. Any more questions? Anybody?
So just one question. A follow-up on Sumit and Rishi's question. So correct me if I haven't understood this properly. Okay, so in a machinery, if the parts are essential and that itself makes up the machinery, without the parts, the machine is pointless. Then you should directly just straight away not look at anything and just classify it under machine.
Provided the different parts do not have a value, and the value of those 9 parts are included in the part of the main machine.
So that can be done.
In that case, if these 2 conditions are satisfied, they are compulsory supplied to the main machine. The value being included in the $1 lakh of the main machine, and they are compulsory supplied, then they meet the conditions of accessory conditions rules 1963, then you have to classify it only under that one single heading.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, my question is nucleic acid has a direct heading,
Which
but
one?
customs will raise a query to put under 9802.
Which acid?
Nucleic acids.
Spelling क्या है?
Nucleic, NUCLEIC.
उसका heading क्या आता है? 28 या 29 किसमें?
2934.
2934 में. और what is custom saying?
29. It's a direct heading. It is have. It is
Correct.
there.
What is custom saying?
9802. We have to classify.
Why?
It
Laboratory
is
chemicals. Is it a laboratory chemical?
Yes. Yes. No, it is not a laboratory chemical.
If it is laboratory chemical, and listen, you know what is laboratory chemical, no? We are using in the school lab, okay?
Yes.
For testing purposes. Nucleic acid has got other uses.
Yes.
In the chapter note of chapter 29 and the section note of chapter 28, before chapter 28, is it given that nucleic acid does not fall here?
Nucleic acid.
It does not fall here. ऐसा लिखा है क्या? Chapter note में, hello.
No, sir.
In the Haseen, in the chapter note, is it written like this that nucleic acid does not fall here?
Because it is a direct heading, no, so I am asking. Nucleic
Correct. So
acids
what are
and
you
their
using it
salts.
for? What is the end use?
End is for research and development.
What is the packing?
It will be below 500 ml. Vials.
Vials, no?
Yes.
छोटा vial आता है वो.
Yes, small vials.
If there is a specific heading, then it will prevail. 98, 29, 34. Because 2934 has got 7.5% duty and 9802 has got more duty.
Yes.
That is the only thing in your case. But when you have a specific heading, it goes as a specific heading.
Sir, wouldn't customs be considering in this case, because she said that it's in R&D, so R&D happens in labs, so they might assume that it's a lab chemical in that perspective, in that sense I'm saying.
Yeah, but the specific
And
heading
of course,
prevails, no? Specific
yeah,
heading prevails or general heading?
Right.
Specific 29
heading
general
prevails or
heading.
you do one thing. If you have the explanatory notes to the HSN, you read that. Otherwise, you route your inquiry through the JBS Academy because they are the one for whom I am doing it. I will answer your query by giving you the extract of the HS code, explanatory notes, and then you can give it to customs. If it is a live below entry right now in whichever city you are from, I will give you that by email. Why it should come under 2934.
Thank you.
Can I take leave?
Yes, sir.
Anyone has got any other questions? I hope. I mean, I would like to say I definitely enjoyed spending time with you and working with you. And it was a pleasure to address whatever I could. And if should you have any other queries, do not hesitate to write to the academy, and then we can always answer your queries. We are always open for any queries which you might have, and it'll be more than a pleasure to answer whatever may be there.
For detailed learning of all logistics subjects, visit www.logiveda.com.